All right, yes, indeed. At least that's some of the key focus in terms of what we're focusing on this morning. And we're joined today by Godwin Igwe, who is a professor and NLNG chair of gas processing engineering. He's a fellow, Institute of Petroleum Studies and Gas Refining and Petrochemicals, University of Port Harcourt. Thank you for coming on this morning, Prof.
Thank you.
Well, here we are again talking about what we need to do, how this challenge needs to be sorted out. But this is your field. What do you think is going wrong?
Well, everything is going wrong. I think that we should have a state of emergency because of the problem we have right now. And I also think that modular refineries should be what we should be using at this critical time. Consider the time we were going to Nitel to call people overseas and shouting. Now in your toilet you can call everybody in the world. So I think that is how this is going to happen. We don't need the bells and whistles of the big refinery. We think that with the doctrine of supply and demand, if the gasoline is everywhere, there wouldn't be scarcity. And you just don't talk.
So why is it that we still haven't been able to look into that? You know, there's the argument about derivatives that comes out of refined products, which they say the modular refineries doesn't give.
Now, if you design it to give you whatever you want, it will give you that. The simple process of heating, evaporation, cooling, and condensation is simple. It's universal for every volatile hydrocarbon that you want to refine.
So many engineers like yourself, how come we still are in this mess?
Well, I came here from US to set this thing up. And as you have seen, I've designed a modular refinery which is now operating at the university, and I've produced products. I've produced LPG, I've produced naphtha, I've produced kerosene, gasoline, you name it. It's all there. And the reason why I'm in Lagos is because of the modular conference that we're having here in Lagos. The manufacturers of these equipments are here. And they are offering Nigerians the opportunity to buy these equipment. The reason why they are here is because Nigeria issued 23 licenses to people and they haven't been able to do anything.
I think the Minister of Information also spoke about this, how the government is interested in that area, and they're also looking into it. I don't know if you heard them. Yes. And how you intend to key in.
Yes, I've heard about it, but we've always been hearing many things from government, and nothing has happened.
You don't think this time they really want to do it?
Well, the DPR were there yesterday when we started the conference. The Vice President's representative was there, but I didn't see any commitments.
What do you mean commitment?
Commitment, the requirement for Nigerian entrepreneurs to have this equipment is that there should be a guarantee from the government that when Exim Bank, which is the export-import bank in US, gives this money to the Nigerian business people, that the government will pay back if there's default from the people who borrow the money. That's just the simple thing that the government should, guarantee. And I'm telling you that if we have this energy corridor, install it there. If you don't like that one, you can go through the pipeline.
Could you shed more light on that? I hope we'll come back to this point of yours if you don't lose your train of thought. Why will the government need to pay back if the creditors default?
Well, if I lend you money, usually you have a collateral, isn't it?
Yeah.
That if you don't pay back, I take your house or your land or something like that. Now, if, like we know Nigerians, they have penchant for not paying back. That's why the banks don't give you money, because you give false address.
That's some of them, not
well, some of them. You give a wrong address and they come there when you didn't pay, and nothing will happen. So these people, this government of US Exim Bank, they want to have a sort of guarantee that if they lend you the money, that you should be able to repay when it is due for repayment. And if you can't, they then go to the government who guaranteed that this money will be paid?
So government were part of the negotiation from the onset?
Yes, yes. DPR, they were there yesterday, and they didn't make any commitment.
Do you think when they were giving them those licenses, all of this were factored in?
The licenses were issued on the basis that first the entrepreneurs must deposit something. 1 million, now they've removed it to, is it 500 or something like that?
Not dollars? That's dollars. Huh?
Well, I think, yeah, it's dollars, yeah. Where will they get that money? That's why nothing has happened. You know that.
How easy it is for someone to go into such business? Now we're looking at the financial implications, because when you say we have about 23 of them that have been given licenses to operate, and they still haven't done that, is it that difficult to start off?
Of course, it involves a lot of financial involvement. That if you are not financially stable, you can't operate that. You cannot. And we're just talking one aspect of it. How about the raw materials itself?
So the one you created or the one you designed in Uniport, is it just a model?
Well, it's a pilot plant. I designed it such that the distillation column has to be transparent, so that the students can see how the various
products,
gaseous flows and liquid, how they operate. The volatility of the vapors going up, they can see it, and then how it comes down and forms product.
How much does it really produce?
Since it's a lab, we have about 10 liters. 10 liters of crude oil, which needs to be processed. It's not a big, but it has every element that a big refinery has.
Okay.
Yes, and that's why I actually brought the products. I wanted you to see what we produce. We produce everything that you buy in the gas station, and wanted to show that it is possible. Within 6 to 12 months, I built a 2-story building. Within 6 to 12 months, I also built this modular refinery because there was funding. NLNG gave us the money. And the point I'm trying to make here is that if one person could do this, the government with a lot of resources could easily do that.
You know, your vast experience working in Texas in the United States, which is also an oil-producing state over there. Tell us what kind of refineries, some of them, because in some of them that are in Midland, also of Texas,
Houston,
yes, they have modular refineries. So the type you're proposing for Nigeria, what kinds are those?
Well, the type I'm proposing in Nigeria are those with small capacities, like from 5,000 to 20,000 barrels per day that they can process. And these are what these guys are selling up, trying to bring to Nigeria. These ones are affordable. In one article I published, I gave the cost for buying one of them.
Is the NNPC aware of this? Have you written them?
NNPC, remember, NLNG is part of NNPC. But the way Nigeria works, nobody knows what the other person is doing. And if we follow the model of NLNG, how they made sure we had milestones. If you get to this stage, they pay you. You get to this stage, they pay you. And that's how we were able to accomplish this. The point I'm still making is that these things are possible here in Nigeria if we have champions, gatekeepers.
How many liters do you think some of these modular, let's say 23 modular refineries in the country, plus other big refineries, how many liters of petrol do you think we can guarantee the nation?
Well, if you have, say, 10 to 15 modular refineries, I'm sure you can produce 1 million liters per day
Daily?
Yes.
So how many barrels of crude can each, maybe a standard modular one, refine?
Well, if you are able to afford 8,000 barrels per day to process the equipment to process it, you can order for 10, 20. It depends on what you actually could afford. And these specifications are clearly there.
Give us a plan. For instance, if, as the government have indicated interest in terms of these modular refineries, where and how should it be approached in terms of where should it be sited such that you won't have any of those challenges we have with some of the current ones?
I have two examples. Here everything is politically considered. Number one, we have a pipeline running from the south to the north. You can decide which states could have it. But a better scenario will be the Niger Delta corridor, coming from Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Edo, and the rest of them, you know, where the crude oil is actually extracted. I think those two are the best option for Nigeria. But they should start with something, you know, instead of just procrastinating, posturing, you know. They always talk and nothing happens.
Are we going to make use of, or should we make use of the existing pipeline corridors? Because, I mean, subject to a lot of vandalism these days.
Yeah. If you are going to set this thing up, you have to negotiate with the stakeholders living in that area. That will reduce unemployment. If I make you an owner of a business, you wouldn't want to destroy it. You know, there's a lot of unemployment there, which if we can set up something to keep them busy, we'll solve it. I think it's very important that, you know, we make those people living in that area, you know, co-owners. They should be interested. Government should actually take into consideration setting something up to make them become responsible citizens. I don't think they will break the pipelines if we actually... In fact, I'm advocating that we make the people we call illegal refiners, we make them legal. They already have the raw skills. Why shouldn't we just educate them on the specifications and the standards?
You think we can?
Of course.
You don't think that those people are doing it because, I mean, at that point, they're stealing the crude oil. So
of course,
maybe it is profitable for them to be able to do. That's why they're making their profits. Maybe if they had to buy it, for instance.
I agree entirely. Now, who is behind that? You won't tell me that the small guys in the village looking for daily bread can rent a ship or do all that. The people telling you that the lobby is around, these are the people causing the whole problem. And I think that the government, have you seen any one of them penalized or sent to jail? We've been hearing about bunkering.
That's the pipeline vandals. And
yeah,
well,
you call it bunkering, isn't it? Have you heard? I've not heard, you know, that any one of them has been sent to jail. You know, there are so many things happening that we simply talk about it and nothing has happened. So I think that the best thing to do is actually to get those people living in those areas, seeing this thing happening every day. If your son is doing that, and your son knows that you are a co-owner of a modular refinery, I don't think they will go and destroy it.
All right, Godwin Igwe is a professor and NLNG chair of gas processing engineering. He's also a fellow, Institute of Petroleum Studies and Gas Refining and Petrochemicals in University of Port Harcourt. Thank you for coming on, and all the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, then we'll be back. We'll have one more item here on our table, so do stay with us.